weekend is usually really vibrant. There are a lot of boats that go down the river and through the bridges, and there are no boats moving at all. So there's no river traffic whatsoever. It's very, very strange.
À la maison pour récupérer nos affaires. Et on n'a pas le choix, on peut pas rester à la maison, on est au premier étage, on a de l'eau.
Good afternoon, everyone. Peter Overton broadcasting from the Nine studios in Sydney with the latest on the ferocious storms that are sweeping New South Wales. A severe weather warning remains in place for the east coast of the state. In Sydney, the northern beaches have been hit very hard. At Narrabeen, dozens of residents have self-evacuated. Crews are out in force, trying to restore power to thousands of properties, with urgent repairs at Parramatta, Campbelltown and Canley Vale. Endeavour Energy says it still has 8,000 properties without electricity. The SES has received 5,500 calls for help.
The death toll from floods and landslides in western Indonesia's central Java province has risen to 47, with 15 others missing. Thousands of homes were inundated by floods and dozens of houses were buried in the landslides. Search and rescue efforts continue, but were unfortunately hampered by more rain and unstable soil conditions. 16 districts and cities have been affected since Saturday after hours of heavy downpours. Indonesia is home to
caused by heavy rains since June the 9th, and earlier in April and May, strong winds swept across the country, killing nearly 40 people. This year's floods are estimated to be worse than last year.
At least 55 people have been killed in lightning strikes in India's eastern Bihar state. Several people have also been injured after they were struck by lightning in different parts of the region. Bihar has been hit by torrential rain accompanied by regular lightning strikes.
Flooding concerns in Texas will stretch into the weekend after days of rain. Downpours overnight stranded drivers and sparked water rescues in the west of the state. The deadly flooding forced more than 1,000 people to evacuate. Homes in southern Texas are submerged and cars were washed away. Flash flood warnings and watches this morning cover much of the state.
Top story this morning, the deadly and destructive flooding in West Virginia. The death toll there has climbed to 23 and is expected to increase. West Virginia's governor has called in hundreds of National Guardsmen to help with search and rescue efforts.
Yeah, the flooding destroyed several homes, some torn from foundations and carried away by the swollen river. The trouble began on Thursday from heavy rains. On Friday, the body of a 4-year-old boy was recovered after he was swept away in flood waters. West Virginia this morning is bracing for more rain after historic flooding killed at least 25 people. Those floods in the past week swamped hundreds of homes as well as cars and roads. The National Weather Service says an event like this only happens once in 1,000 years.
Ended up blocks away from the city.
Over 500 homes in one county alone have been badly damaged or destroyed. In Clendenin, at least 100 are gone. Crews have been working around the clock to clear debris and get the lights back on, as volunteers have brought food and supplies to those in need. Nearly 100 roads remain closed. Soldiers and first responders have been going door to door in hard-hit areas.
It's okay.
A woman desperate to rescue a litter of puppies trapped for days in this house flagged down the National Guard. First out of the house is Private First Class Jabe Meadows, carrying a scared and hungry pit bull puppy through the waist-deep water.
Oh, you just got rescued, baby.
Inside that box, 5 baby Pomeranian Chihuahuas and their mom close behind. Finally,
Oh, they got Allie, thank God.
Allie the pit bull, all carried to safety. President Obama has declared this a disaster area. That means federal funds from FEMA are available to help with the rebuilding and recovery. Charlie?
Chris, thanks.
A lot to talk about in the weather.
You think it's hot in the southeast. Look at the southwest. I mean, this is crazy.
Yesterday was right around 110 for the high.
Wow.
So it's been pretty brutal.
But up the road, it looks brutal.
Okay, what's the big deal?
It's still something when you're talking about more than 20 records that are in jeopardy. And a lot of these are long-standing records here in Oregon, Washington, through California. Some of these records go way back to the early 1900s. So,
All right, this is teetering on, heat that's not good for you, okay? It is just going to be wicked hot. That is. Oh.
The dangerous heat rages on out to the west, even sparking wildfires this weekend.
And if you're looking for cooling thunderstorms, you're out of luck here.
Seriously, this has been like ridiculously warm, even for that part of the country. Last couple of days, temps have been up around 115 or so in places like Phoenix, Vegas.
Look at this. Surge of heat in the Missouri Valley to the Mississippi Valley and right into Chicago. Here you go.
I mean, temperatures are really going to be cooking. Minneapolis.
So all these temperatures that you're seeing, 15 to 25 degrees above average, that is going to push to the east in a good chunk of the country by the end of the week.
It's not only going to be down in the south, it's not only going to be in the southwest, but the humongous amount of warm air, it's going to reach all the way into parts of the northern plains, the upper Midwest. I mean,
waiting for that 90-degree day? I know you're not, but it's coming.
That's tropical heat, tropical humidity.
The first day of summer has arrived, and it will be a scorcher for tens of millions of Americans in the Southwest. Temperatures there could reach up to 121 degrees in some spots. The record-breaking heat wave is reportedly blamed for at least 4 deaths, as dangerous temperatures are making it difficult for crews battling wildfires in several states.
Firefighters in California this morning are struggling to contain the state's largest wildfire. The Erskine fire covers more than 43,000 acres. It has killed at least 2 people and burned hundreds of homes. The fire is among at least 10 wildfires burning in California.
Breaking news, a wildfire burning its way through Kern County, which includes Bakersfield. Now, just in the past 90 minutes, we've learned that the Erskine fire has destroyed 100 homes and burned 8,000 acres. Now, one woman who lives there says she worried about her house because it means so much to her family.
It's not good. It's the property. It was my grandparents' home. I grew up in that house, and it's not even the things inside of it. It's something you can't replace.
Tyler Townsend here, Public Information Officer with the Erskine Fire. Lost about 50 to 60 structures at this time. Firefighters are preparing for structure protection.
Yesterday afternoon, shortly before 4 p.m., the forces of nature collided with a spark. The mountainous terrain, 5 years of drought, and wind gusts of over 20 miles an hour all drove a fire over 11 miles in 13 hours. Our firefighters from all the agencies here in Kern County and coming throughout the state of California have been engaged in a firefight of epic proportions, trying to save every structure possible. In a situation like this, there's not enough fire trucks and firefighters to put in front of every structure, so they're working in whole neighborhoods trying to save every structure. We know in this 11 miles of fire that we've lost over 100 structures, but until we get daylight and get damage assessment teams in there, we're not sure of an accurate count. We're using hand crews, bulldozers, air tankers, helicopters, everything in our arsenal to stop this massive, devastating wildland fire. Hopefully, Mother Nature will cooperate and the winds will lessen and allow our firefighters a fighting chance.
And now let's take a look at the latest wild weather to hit China. Many parts of the country have seen yet another round of heavy rainstorms. In South China, Shanghai, alongside regions like Zhejiang, Fujian, Guangdong, Guangxi, Yunnan, Jiangxi, and Hunan, have seen 50 to 120 millimeters of rain. Some places have seen as much as 250 millimeters of rainfall. And in North China has been affected too. Besides heavy downpours and thunderstorms, Beijing, Tianjin, and provinces including Hebei, Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Liaoning have witnessed gales or hailstones. The country's weather authority says more rain is due in the next 5 days. It has warned of the risk of disasters such as landslides and flooding in mountainous areas.
Impassable roads, submerged cars, paralyzed public transport, and flooded villages. Luzhou City in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region seemed to be a water world. The rains showed no sign of stopping, and some areas received an intense rainfall of about 100 millimeters within an hour. That has made rescue operations difficult and also triggered local weather authorities to issue a red weather alert for rainstorm. In China's southern Guangdong and southwestern Guizhou provinces, flash floods have forced mass evacuations. Continuous rain forced over 100 villages in Guizhou's Xinyi city to evacuate to safety. Meanwhile, Zerong Township was worst hit as many villages living in low-lying areas got trapped by floods. This local driver said he learned of the news on TV and came to help rescuers. The trapped villagers have been taken to a temporary shelter in a local primary school and given drinking water and food. As of Monday, the township was still inundated, and in some areas, flood waters rose 2 centimeters per hour. Those who had been rescued have been advised to prepare for another evacuation. Meanwhile, torrential rains also battered most parts of South China's Guangdong province, swelling rivers and forcing evacuations in Lianzhou city. China's weather service forecasts more rains over the next 2 days and is advising the public to prepare against the floods and another rain-triggered disasters. Fang Xuan, CCTV.
Firefighters received